Did you get Walden the salt?
Yeah, I did. They did get your,
Resolutions.
they did get your pictures. And,
All right, I'd like to call the May 24th regularly scheduled meeting of the Village of McBride to order. First item on the agenda is introductions of late items. We have a report from the Rural Dividend Committee. So we'll put that under 9G.
And Martin would also like to submit the financial report and our report for
And they're just for information. only.
That's correct.
So financial statements. And what was the other one?
CAO
report. Okay, so the financial statements and the CAO report are for information only. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Councillor Thompson,
No, I thought we were in discussion.
for late items?
No. I'll wait till number 2.
Second by Councillor Reichart. All in favor? Carried. Second item on the agenda is reading and approving of the May 10th minutes of the regular council meeting. They're on page 4 in your agenda package. Can I get a mover? So moved.
Sure.
Seconder?
Sure. No, point of order. Can I just go backwards? I'm confused.
Okay, point of order.
Okay. We did the introduction of late items.
Mm-hmm.
Are we now on approval of the agenda?
We just did that, right?
Okay. That's the one I thought we were on that I had some unfortunate questions about.
Well, it hasn't been seconded, so.
Okay. Okay, so I can okay.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Just carry on.
Okay.
Carry on, then I'm not here.
So can I move on to the reading and approving?
Yes, I have Councillor Reichart as,
I have a mover, I don't have a seconder.
I'll second.
Councillor Tracy,
Yes.
any errors or omissions? Councillor Thompson,
Fine. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, this is on the approval of the agenda. I'm questioning where the reading and the approval of the May 9th minutes would be. They haven't been approved, and we're now approving 10th and 12th.
May 9th without a special meeting?
That was a budget meeting, special budget meeting.
Were they not approved at the last meeting? Let me go and get those. Can we recess for a moment?
sure,
No,
I'll call a recess.
how the recess you said?
Maybe we should just get a bell.
Hmm?
We should get a bell.
A bell.
A recess bell.
Are you having flashbacks?
Is the principal even coming out?
I love recess.
I'm going to remove your name off here, okay? Okay. All right, so I guess I have to add these in as a late item then?
Yeah. I thought we'd approve them when we can't say. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so before we go on to that, we will have to go back and add these as a late item, and so I will need a mover and a shaker on those.
So moved.
Counselor Reichardt, seconder.
Second.
Counselor Thompson, all in favor? Carried. And back from recess at 7:30. Okay. So what we'll do is we will, start with the 9th then. So can I get a motion to, motion that the May 9th minutes be adopted?
Excuse me, one more point, if I may. Still under agenda,
Okay,
it has to do with section 8.
okay, what about it?
Okay, the motion, the council procedures bylaw 752216 be given third reading. On the minutes posted for April the 12th, bylaw 759.3 was listed as given first, second, and third reading.
Okay, so that would be 759.3.
It was given a different number.
Oh, so it will be given fourth and final reading this evening.
However,
Right,
just to complicate things,
right,
when I go to the agenda for April the 12th,
yes,
it says that it be given first and second reading.
Yes.
So I don't know whether it was given first and second, or as reported, first, second, and third.
I had thought it was third. We had some debate in the office. I had thought we'd given it 3, and other staff members thought we had given it 2. The reason I thought we had given it 3 and recorded it as such was because we had to publish for 2 weeks.
And that was resolution 06916.
That's correct.
So are we actually giving this fourth and final reading?
I would be very comfortable with that because I remember the discussion on it. We have it taped, and that it reflects our minutes.
And the number should be
759.3. Yes.
759.3, and then it's bracket 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Counselor
And
Thompson.
one more, just a little thing, it's, I'm on number 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th motion on that page about McBride Auto Body.
Yes.
Should that also include the word up to $3,000, like all of the rest of them?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That was all supposed to be under the deductions in the agenda. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was all under approval of the agenda.
Yeah.
All right, so
Councillor Reichert. It said to approve the agenda as amended, seconded by Councillor Tracy. There was discussion and
Okay, no, I have Councillor Thompson and Councillor Reichert approving the amended.
the late items, yeah.
Okay, that's what I did wrong. I put that under there, so that's what that was. All right, so we'll move, I guess I need to accept the agenda as amended then.
So
Seconder,
Second.
all in favor?
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, we actually have that, so,
Okay, that's
We
where I'm
just need to
getting
vote on it.
confused.
yeah, okay.
Pardon me?
just have
We need to
vote
vote on it, that's correct,
Oh, voting on what?
all in
on
favor?
The
Amended.
agenda is amended.
as
Okay,
amended.
agenda as amended. So we've got it moved by Councillor Reichert, seconded by Councillor Thompson. All in favor? Carried.
Two minutes.
So, reading and approving, we had a motion on the floor though, by
We did,
Councillor Reichert and Councillor Tracy for the
Mhm.
May 10th
that's
minutes.
correct.
So those are on page 4, we'll do the May 9th after. So are there any errors or omission on the May 10th meetings, minutes? Hearing none, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. Next item is the reading and approving of the May 9th minutes, and that's from the budget meeting that I just gave you, and I had it moved, no, that was the added in. Yeah, so I need a mover and a shaker on that one. Donaldo? Can I get a mover on the May 9th minutes, please?
So moved.
Seconder?
I'll second.
Any errors or omissions? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the question, all in favor? Carried. Next item is the reading and approving of the May 12th minutes of this council special meeting. Need a mover? So moved. Seconder? Seconder?
Page 9.
Page 9 is on Councilor Tracy.
Thank you.
Can I get a seconder on the May 12th minutes, please?
I'll second.
Any errors or omissions? Councilor Thompson?
Reflecting back and reviewing the tape, it was clearly requested that the minutes show that council proceeded without a written report from the CAO on the process of first, second, and third reading, and that's not included in the minutes.
I'm sorry, what was that, Councillor Thompson? That the council,
That council was proceeding without a written report from the CAO on the process of first, second, and third reading. That was with regard to the budget bylaw, or the 5-year plan, whichever one it was. There was
finance had had submitted a written report. Is that what you're referring to?
no, this was, when you were away looking for the flow chart,
Okay,
and you were unable to provide the
That's
complete
right.
flow chart, and it was requested that council note, that the minutes note that we are proceeding without that written report from yourself.
okay, so that would be amended, and I would think the place to put that would be right as the last item, right before new business in section 9.
What's that? Aren't we just saving it as an, oh, you mean on the
Yeah,
action minutes
that's where I
themselves?
would, that's where I will place it when I amend it,
Okay,
if that's agreeable to everyone.
Shouldn't it occur just after we reconvene at 8:08?
Is that when it was on the,
Yes.
regular tape? Okay.
so, all right, so you've got that, Kelly?
I do.
So it was after we reconvened. Okay, so that will mean that we have to accept the minutes as amended.
How will that read? Sorry.
I have, council will proceed without written report from the CFO,
CAO.
CAO, from the CAO on
The
the
process,
bylaws,
on the process of
on the
first,
bylaw
second, and
process.
third reading.
Third reading of the bylaw process.
Yeah.
All right,
So moved.
so that's gonna be amended, so we'll adopt those minutes as
As
amended.
yes.
So all those in favor? Carried. All right, under petitions and delegations, we have none. So unfinished business, the loan securement, that's moving to committee of the whole on June 7th. We're still waiting for a report on the Westland property from Public Works, correct?
That's correct.
And Robert Freer's request that council look into improving an existing boardwalks, that's still sitting with Public Works as well.
It is, that's correct.
Okay. So we'll move on to reports. So councillors, which one wants to go first?
Very well, I guess.
Go ahead there. Councillor Kazan?
That was in May 13th, I was in Edmonton on the Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway meeting, and I was given a letter from Mr.
Frederick.
Frederick, and I brought it up to the board there, to meet the people there, and we went over what he wanted, the delays in time for accidents. I was, actually, let me back up here. I was talking to the RCMP about that. And of course, we all know we don't have a coroner.
Yep.
That's gonna take time. And then, of course, we don't have a special investigation team from the RCMP that does the investigation on the accidents. So they come from Kamloops, they come from Prince George, they come from Fort St. John, and all over, they said, and sometimes you just can't get them. So when you do get the two of them, it's gonna take time to get here, and they drive. So I was told too that it was up to it's the RCMP that does actually close the highway when it's a bad accident. So I said, okay, that's fine. And then, of course, you're gonna have to wait. No matter what happens, you're gonna wait. You can't change nothing, you sit there. So I advise people if they can find an alternate route, going there, going here, but sometimes we get bottled up in one little place. So anyway, I brought that to the committee, and they told me what Mr. Alfredic was saying, asking, there's a whole bunch of resolutions sent in.
Okay.
So I can't do nothing about it. They went in, and of course, I brought up the cell phone issue, right? And I found out the hard way, but I'm not gonna tell you that story.
Thank you.
From Tijon all the way to Park, just about Jasper, you can't get cell no matter what happens. I don't care what, I tried it, every 10 miles, everywhere, and there's no cell phone. So I don't know, they said they put a resolution in again to see what they can do. I don't know what's gonna happen there. It takes, this is my first time, I don't know how long it takes to get for the resolutions. It takes a long time sometimes, right?
Not usually, but,
No, well, they're looking into it anyway.
okay.
Another one is to save the accidents between Red Pass and they figured out a way from Tishan, but we do have passing lanes from Tishan to Mount Robinson up to Red Pass. The main problem there is from Red Pass all the way to the park border. There's not one single passing lane there. And in the winter time and the traffic, in the summertime, it is very dangerous highway, this stretch of highway. So that was they put Salt put the resolution in, and that went in, so we'll see what's happening there. I'll be talking to her next week to find out what's going on. I'll keep in touch with her, keep on talking to her. Now, that's all I can do for the Highway 16, or, Highway 16. Jasper, I can give you a little hint on that one. You're gonna have, if you're going to Jasper, there's 5 bridges out. They're tearing them up. And they have stoplights there, because I went through them. And when the cranes, the 160-ton cranes coming up, taking out the floor beams, concrete floor beams on the bridge and the stringers, you're gonna be there for a good hour, and maybe more, by the time they get that. So if you're going that way, you're gonna be stopped.
Do you have a time frame on that?
What's that?
Do you have a
Oh,
time frame?
right till September.
So starting from now till September?
Oh, yeah, they've been doing it already. They're working on every bridge, but, they said right till September. I was talking to the lady from Jasper, and, she says, just watch out there, because you're actually gonna be stopped, unless you go at nighttime, maybe. I think that's the only time you can get through, because they have stoplights. I was lucky coming back, I complained, and she got in her text message, and of course, you know that it's all park. And the park wardens control, not the RCMP, that's their, and they have to go through the park. So the next bridge, I was stopped for about an hour, going there, they put flagging people on there, because and they were worried about the long weekend. So, just beware of that one. South of Highway, south number 5, there's 2 bridges, CN bridges that's going across. They have signs up, I guess they're gonna be doing some undercutting on the highway there. Because the highway trucks are too high and they're scraping along the CN bridges. So there are gonna be delays there, and then of course they're gonna have some sill coating going on in that area all the way down.
Yeah, it needs it.
Yeah, maintenance and, well, yeah, and that's that one. Now, last Friday, I was talking to Mr. Sewell about the underpass. And I went to talk to CAO Kelly about it, and he wanted some pictures sent. So Travis sent some pictures to him, and I phoned him today, he received them. And I was telling him, I talked to him this morning, and I said, what did you find out? He says he thanked us. Thanks to the village for sending the pictures in. Of course, it's going up higher now, right?
Yeah.
Next step. And I told him, I says, well, you guys don't understand, I know it's your property, but on top of the Bird's Wash, you know, that's highways, Department of Highways, and you get a couple of torrential rains coming in there, you're not gonna have no road in there for these 2 people to get, 2 houses to get out. So it's gonna cost you a lot more money to fix that up. So I advise you, if you don't mind, let's get this going. Because, you know, we have to get that embankment done. Because all them no pole concrete, they call them, they're gonna be coming down on top of on the road. And I says, well, it's not our road, you know, it's your road. And he says, yeah, I understand that. He says, you know how railroad is. I says, yeah, I do. So it goes up higher and higher until someone gets mad and here, go do it. But by then, it's gonna cost a lot more money. So they're happy. Well, we're trying anyway. I don't know. I'm trying anyway with the villages, and so we'll see what happens. We just got to be patient. And like I said, it's not our property, and if something major happens, it's their problem. So that's all I can do, and I'll keep in touch on that. He said he would. We'll see what happens. So that's my report, I guess.
Councillor Thompson.
On May the 11th, I had a meeting with business owners with regard to the fees and services for sewer, water, and garbage. On May the 12th, I attended the budget meeting to give final reading and approval to the 2016 tax rate bylaw and the 5-year financial plan. Also on the 12th, I did a presentation to the Rural Dividend Select Committee, and it was a presentation to give an overview of the program and perspective from my participation on the Rural Advisory Council. I'll be doing a similar presentation in Valemount on Thursday. On May the 17th, I attended Rural Dividend Teleconference. It was a Q&A session put on by the ministry staff that are directly involved with administering the program. I just wanted to make sure that what I was saying was consistent with what they were saying. I did note that the bandwidth needed to participate in that program wasn't sufficient, and the PowerPoint program froze up. Did that on several occasions. So addressing insufficient bandwidth in small communities might be something that we want to continue to work with, because it's a deterrent to business growth and attraction. I also attended an in-camera meeting on that same date, May the 17th. May the 18th, I attended the first meeting of the Fees and Charges Standing Committee. It was an initial meeting to address concerns expressed and determine information and data that the committee will require moving forward. In addition to those meetings, I participated in the community cleanup on May the 14th. Found the village to be very tidy, thanks to all the residents that helped keep McBride beautiful. I participated in the Healthy Community Committee's meeting, or McBride on the Move event on Sunday, May the 15th. We had a good turnout and did a community walk around the village loop and introduced people to that, and some follow-up activities maybe spurring out of that. And on Friday, May the 20th, I smelled like onions for most of the day as I participated in the Scotiabank fundraiser. And I've had several face-to-face meetings with residents, particularly on the budget process and coming events. Just a reminder that there's a public hearing tomorrow at the Robson Valley Community Center regarding the rezoning of 521 Main Street. And that's my report, Councilor Bezanson. If you could pass that down to the CAO, thank you.
Thank you. Actually, the Rural Dividend Committee, because they took the webinar as well, you were almost verbatim.
It froze up?
No.
The
presentation that
content,
you gave us was almost verbatim of what was on the webinar.
Thank goodness we're doing the right thing.
Councilor Fraser.
Okay, on May the 12th, we had that special meeting at 7:30 a.m. Everybody was cheerful. May 14th, I joined the community cleanup and...
What meeting were you at? Sorry, Councilor.
Sorry, Rick. I was being nice. Cleanup, that was actually amazing how clean the little community is. It makes for a difficult pickup of stuff. Then on May 15th, went to the Live Oak Walk. It was fabulous. Not as, because of the weather, it was near the end of the Live Oak, sad to say, but it's still a beautiful walk. Then I popped into the Healthy Community event. There was a lot of action and the food looked great. I'd like to see that more often. May 17th, an in-camera meeting. May 19th, the Community Foundation presented checks, and that's it for me.
Councilor Eckhart.
On the 11th, I was at the Northern Gateway Community Advisory Board meeting in Prince George. I missed the dinner the previous night, but we had an all-day meeting at the event center. It was really good. May 12th, we were in chambers for the budget. May 14th was the community cleanup and the delicious homemade burgers afterwards. May 17th, in-camera meeting. May 19th, I was at Regional District. Highlights are in the agenda, and there's also some copies on the back table there. And that's it for me.
Well, since the last council meeting, I didn't have time to do a report. Kelly and I met with WorkSafe BC on May 11th. I also, along with Councillor Thompson, met with a concerned citizen on the business utilities. On May 12th, I also met with a new recreation gentleman, Sandy McKenzie, who's replaced Elaine Gillette. That evening, I had a rural dividend committee. On Friday, on Saturday, I had the community cleanup. I met with some citizens on Monday evening. On Tuesday, I had attended the webinar for the rural dividend. At 5:30, we had our in-camera. On May 18th at 2:30, I met with the Business Utilities Fees and Charges Committee. On May 19th, I attended the Community Foundation Awards, met with the Rural Dividend Committee again that evening. And that is basically it till today. So, administration, I guess you're next.
I'll just touch on the points from the monthly report and then go into a working report. We've completed our EMBC emergency plan for the village. Contacts have been updated. We've considered the new practices and the best measures. We are waiting back for a call for our contact for the EMBC, just to make sure we have everything where it needs to be. And we will be submitting to the province so that they know we're on top of that. I've completed a review of all of our leases, both the current ones and any that are upcoming within the next 12 months, so that we've got a handle on that. We've created a spreadsheet for that now. I think I showed that to council a couple months ago, so we can actually track now, and we'll get a little note going off so that people aren't working without a lease for a year or two and that sort of thing. And going forward, leases will be coming to council with input from the financial officer to let us know what should we be looking at increases, can we maintain, that sort of thing. We've looked at a lot of bylaw and policy this month, or perhaps we've looked a lot at 2 bylaws and not so much at another. So the 5-year financial plan, the tax rate bylaw, and our council procedure bylaw. 759.3, I will correct that, thank you for that, Councillor Thompson. Administration has been working closely with council regarding audit items, special meetings, the amended 26th budget, as well as ongoing consultation and assistance as required or requested. The OHS committee remains very active. That's great to see. And Safe BC was really happy that we'd struck that committee and how committed and excited the people are to be on it. They continue to review OHS policy, and WorkSafe BC will be facilitating training sessions for both the staff and council on June 3rd. And during this training, we will get a briefing on any new legislation to do with WorkSafe health and safety, but we'll also have the opportunity to have our OHS reviewed and to make sure we're compliant right from the expert's mouth, so that's great. And like Councillor Johnson, the CN underpass is always on the side of my desk, and thank goodness he finally got hold of Mr. Sewell, the engineer for this region. A letter was sent some time ago straight to the head safety officer of CN about this. It has deteriorated since that time. I'm really pleased to say that Minister Bond has extended a sort of a helping hand on this process to try and get them to realize the importance of this. And with Councillor Bezanson's contacts, hopefully we can see something happen. They haven't even bothered to respond to our letter, although it was, you all read it, it stated as a really deep safety concern for this community. So hopefully with Minister Bond's help and Councillor Bezanson with Mr. Sewell, we'll see something. And if anyone takes a drive out there, they'll see it is sliding very badly now. So, so yeah. And then to go on to the multi-fit installation. So we received the grant money and we got our little adult multi-fit installation for the park.
Page are you on, Kelly?
Page 13, report to council administration.
Oh, right, I've got it written down here.
So we got the Stream to Imagining Community Resilience and Partnering for Healthy Community grants. We worked with Public Works, and we think that the best place to put this fit set is near the swing set. It will allow mums and grandmas and grandpas and aunties and uncles to participate in the sort of fun fitness equipment and still be able to keep a very close eye on their the children, grandchildren that are playing. What we looked at, we measured the cement pad. There's a picnic table, a formed picnic table sitting on a large cement pad. And what we thought is we would move the picnic table closer to the gazebo, the pavilion, because there isn't a lot of dining picnic things there. Still close enough for families to have a lunch at if they want or a snack. But that opens up that whole stretch from the play park down. Should we want to, or we have opportunity to put other things in. So that's our administrative report on that.
Okay, thank you. Council was handed out the revenue and expenditure report that I had asked for. So won't be able to ask any questions on it tonight because the CFO isn't here. So it's there for your perusal. Public Works is enclosed, so.
Public Works is not enclosed because it was a somewhat different reporting schedule for them. And I typed up, got the agendas done on Friday, but unfortunately, Public Works I'll be working with them tomorrow to help them with that report.
So that'll come on the next.
You will get it on the next meeting as well as their regular formula table when they use.
Councillor Thompson.
Quick question on the moving of the table.
Right.
Will that require the installation of a new pad?
No. I think they're talking about just blocks. Cinder, or you know what I mean, not cinder blocks, paving. Slabs, yeah. So we're not talking about pouring a concrete pad or anything, yeah.
Okay.
Can I get a motion to receive the reports for information? So
Second.
Seconder, Councillor Thompson. All in favor? Carried. All right, so we'll move on to correspondence requiring action. Page 14 on the agenda. McBride, Royal Purple, Brenda Mollendijk, permission to set up hydro poles to support the extra weight of netting with a raised fence. The first motion reads that the council receive the Public Works Administration report on this item. That's on page 15 to 16, so can I get a mover on that one?
Move.
Moved by Councillor Thompson, second by Councillor Reichardt. Any questions?
Yes. How high are these posts? 60 feet, 80 feet? And how thick are they?
They're hydro poles.
Yeah, okay, oh, okay, then. How come they didn't come up with something different?
The
A lot cheaper, oh, it's for free anyway,
the
but-
poles have been donated, and the people have donated their time, the person who's donating has donated their time to put them in. Public Works has measured and looked. It's not uncommon to see this around other baseball fields where they have the really high poles. The only challenge you'll see there, if you go to the map after our report, so page 17, is these poles, it was proposed that they go right around, as you'll see by the schematic. That won't work because the poles cannot go along the first two that they've asked for by the sidewalk. They won't fit in, there isn't room and our infrastructure won't allow it. So it can slant down there to a regular, like to a higher height, but not as high as they want to go. Other than that, Public Works has measured and looked at it, and it's not interfering with any infrastructure.
So these poles are going all the way around? It looks like here on the ball
Yes.
field.
So it's a 3-meter chain, so see, yeah.
Yeah, each one, and
Yeah.
and this will be done before Sundays?
Yes, that was the plan, I believe, from the letter.
Close to,
All right, so,
yeah,
Councillor Thompson?
With with the, I'm looking at the page 17,
Mm-hmm,
where it says no pole, no pole.
yeah,
So that's the area where the balls go over into the park.
yeah, but as you can see, we have our manholes, we have street lights.
Yeah, that's, I understand. I guess my question is, how is this project then going to facilitate keeping the balls out of the parking lot? Like, is it, what's gonna hold the mesh up?
I believe that that would be what had originally been proposed to us was, which was metal poles
The
extending.
ones that are already there.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
using them. That was what council had originally agreed to.
Yeah.
I have seen these poles put up around ballparks, but they're usually sort of in one area. It's not like around the complete park. They're usually in a high hit area. But Public Works really did say those poles can't go there. They stated their deep concerns. The other thing would be, it would be an astronomical expense to pull out the fence and pull it back too. So, yeah.
You don't have to pull the fence out, you can come with another. I'm worried about,
If the hydro
Councilor
poles,
Thompson said, you're gonna have the kids in there, and it's right by the, and you're gonna have the Royal Purple for the burgers and all that in there, right close. And there's gonna be, well, I guess they can still go through the fence, I
Well,
guess
I
up
think
top.
their plan
with
is to
the-
extend those poles, even though there's not gonna be hydro poles there, they're gonna extend the existing
those
poles.
poles are gonna be extended
Make them
anyway.
higher, so that the netting can still
Yeah.
cover that.
So
area.
so my understanding is that basically there's been a very kind offer to do the hydro poles. I don't think in any way the netting is going to the top of the hydro poles.
No.
Yeah. And seeing as they're used, I'd imagine they're gonna be shorter in height too, because what's buried in the ground, of course, will have to be cut off to the good wood height.
Well, it does show on the top section there's gonna be 4.5 meters,
Mm-hmm,
3 meters of gulf netting up top.
yeah.
Again, as long as there's a way to protect that area of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So if it's extending the poles, that's fine. So they're looking at putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 telephone poles and extending 2 others.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, so I need a motion to, or sorry, we've got a motion that council receive the Public Works report. And so I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Next item is motion that council support the Royal Purple to place the hydro poles around the ball diamond except where noted in the enclosed report with the Village of McBride accepting no cost or liability for this upgrade. Can I get a mover? Seconder?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Several things there for information. The only one that I thought I should mention is the survey report on healthy aging of seniors that was provided to us. There is a meeting date in there at 7 p.m. Location to be announced, so just so you can make note of it. And it is, the meeting date is set at 7, then I
We knew
forgot.
that.
Yeah.
I know that much.
7 p.m. I will get that one for you and get that back to council. June 9th, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is on page 19.
So June 9th
At 7 p.m.?
at 7 p.m. and the location is to be announced yet. Okay, so we'll move,
Maryland's.
pardon me?
David Maryland's funeral.
Yes.
So it is, yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on to number 8, bylaws, permits, and policies. Motion that council procedure bylaw 7.759.3 be given its 4th and final reading and adoption.
So moved.
By Councillor Reichardt,
I'll second it.
Councillor Tracy. Any discussion? We'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Okay, so now starting on page 70 of your agenda.
So for clarification, the audience, our next village council meeting will occur at what time?
7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
Okay. And questions from the public will occur at number 5.
That's correct.
So on page 70, where am I? There I am. So a motion that council receive administration's business facade improvement for the Mountain Chapel report. Seconder,
I'll second.
all in favor? Carried. Next item on the agenda is a motion that council approve the Mountain Chapel's application for facade improvements to 299 Main Street for up to $5,000.
So moved.
Seconder,
Second.
any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Next item on the agenda is page 71, and a motion to that council accept administration's report on the business facade program. Uncle Mark's.
So moved.
Second.
Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Reichardt. Any discuss, oh, sorry, not on that one, that's on the next one. All in favor? Carried. Next item on the agenda is a motion that council approve Uncle Mark's application for the facade improvements to 914-926 First Avenue for up to $3,575. Mover?
Moved.
Seconder?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just one quick question. I could be wrong, but was it not supposed to be just Main Street? That's what I was told before, but has that changed, or is that?
No, that's, it's not just Main Street.
It's in the business improvement area, is
Yeah,
that what it's called?
Right in that, it's on
Okay.
our planning map, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
So why didn't you ask for 5,000?
I guess that's all we
You
need.
didn't need it.
Let's talk to them.
Okay, no other discussion, I'll call the question, all in favor? Favor? Carried.
You think of a meat shop?
I'm thinking tenderloin is what I'm thinking. All right, next item on the agenda is that motion, motion that council approve the McBride Auto Body and Towing for facade improvements at 928 Second Avenue.
Sorry.
There's no report on it?
There is, but
There
it's,
is.
but it's, it says the Mountain Chapel's application. On the top it says, is, McBride Auto Body, but then the body of it, in the recommendation part,
Okay.
it says Mountain Chapel.
Yeah,
So we'll have to redo that one and have that one come back, Kelly?
no,
Just amend it.
just, no.
It's just a matter of changing
It's,
the.
yeah, Karen was pumping them out, obviously.
It's just a typo.
Yeah, it's a simple thing.
All right, so
Everything
then,
else is correct.
Yeah.
so everything else is correct
The
except for,
the amounts are correct, I think.
okay,
I'm just looking, yep, the amounts are
No.
correct, yep.
okay. So I guess we don't want to receive the report.
Well, we're receiving an amended report.
Yeah.
Report is
Receive it
amended.
as amended.
Receive it as amended.
That's, there is no motion there to receive the report then.
There isn't, but someone debate that.
So let's do that here then.
I'll
We'll
move
need
we receive the report as amended.
Second it.
report as amended. And that's by Councillor Reichardt and Councillor Thompson. All in favor? Carried. And the next one is a motion that council approve McBride Auto Body and Towing for facade improvements to 928 Second Avenue for up to $3,000. Councillor Reichardt, seconder.
No second.
Councillor Tracy, any discussion?
No, I'm glad to see all these improvements being done.
Yeah, it'll look nice.
Call the question then, all in favor? Carried. Next item on the agenda is page 73. And that's a motion for council to accept administration's report on the BC Rural Dividend Program for information and to present administration's report to the select committee. Councillor Reichardt, seconder. Seconder?
No second. Sorry.
All in
Is it-
favor?
Go.
Or if you're going to address it, the handout comes next from the rural dividend.
I'm going to that after you're done.
Okay. All in favor? Carried.
We have a lead item.
Yes, so the late item now is, you have a report from the Rural Dividend Committee, and you have a report from our grant writer. We had tried to meet with the grant writer, but because of the committee's dates, scheduling dates, and the dates that the grant writer worked, we were unable to meet up and actually speak. So she did a report to the committee, and we considered that, so that's included in the report from the Rural Dividend Committee. When the committee met, we put everything we could that we had in front of us on the table because of the tight deadlines. So we came up with the tiny house project, the feasibility study for 600 Frontage Road, a planning study for a Wi-Fi hotspot on Main Street, a feasibility study and adoption of a bicycle network plan, and a feasibility study or a business case for the municipal and regional district tax program. That's the old hotel room tax. So when we met on all of them, we basically boiled it down, and the committee came up with their recommendations, which aren't exactly the same as the grant writer's recommendations, because of course she didn't get to sit down and talk with us about all of them. She just went with what she had on her plate at that time. So the first thing I'd like is for a motion to receive the Rural Dividend Committee's report.
Move to receive.
Councillor Reichardt, seconder. Councillor Bezanson. So all in favor? Carried. Did you have caffeine or something tonight before you came? Just, okay.
Now, since this issue talks about the Rural Dividend Committee, and I want the members of council to be able to act independent of the Rural Advisory Council, I'm going to declare a conflict of interest and let you have deliberations about that on your own.
That would be a good idea. So make note that Councillor Thompson left the room at 8:25. So there were basically two streams. One is the project development stream, which is $10,000. Those are for feasibility, planning studies, things like that. There are two other streams. They have a requirement for in-kind and money that you have to have in order for those to proceed. Mm-hmm. So we had really nothing on our plate for the $100,000 one, but we are, through the webinar and stuff, greatly encouraged to submit your applications, meet this deadline first. It will probably be tweaked as they move forward, so we don't know what that second intake is going to look like, and we also don't know how much money, depending on how good these intakes are, how much money will be left and how much harder it will be to get funding the second time around. And there's a whole list of do's and don'ts. So for example, like infrastructure costs, none of this can go for infrastructure costs, but on the bicycle thing, they're willing to look at it. So basically what came out of it was the Rural Dividend Committee agreed with the grant writer on that we should apply on behalf of the Mountain Bike Club for the $100,000 in funding because it's a shovel-ready project. They already have the 20% funding and in kind that's required, and they're ready to go. The debate on the second one took place with the committee wanting to move ahead on a feasibility study on 600 Frontage Road. And that's basically because we can't really do anything with the space until we resolve the heat and the electrical issues. So having a study done on that would be of great importance to the village. And with that, you don't require any in-kind or any upfront money, it's just $10,000. The grant writer, as you can see from her notes, she wanted, she said, recommended that council apply for the project development money to develop a bicycle network plan that could be adopted by the village of McBride, and then after that you could leverage the Bicycle BC grant. All of them are actually based on some sort of leveraging at some way, shape, in some way, shape, or form. So it was a really good round for how the timelines were so short. It was basically a jam-packed week getting this and trying to get it to council because we have to have the resolutions in, the grants have to be written, and all of that has to be done by May 31st. So the first motion is that the village of McBride apply as a single applicant in the single applicant stream on behalf of the Robson Valley Mountain Bike Association for trail construction on McBride Peak and Tier Mountain Trail Network. Can I get a mover and a seconder on that?
I'll move it.
Second it. Okay, I'll
Rock,
move
paper,
it.
scissors?
Okay, moved by Councillor Bezanson, seconded by Councillor Reichart. So any discussion or question on this?
No.
Not for me, no.
Councillor Tracy, you look really deep in thought over there.
I know. So you say we're gonna be the single applicant stream,
Yeah, that's the $100,000 stream,
80-20 split?
80-20 split, so they have to have 20% of that $100,000. They have more than that in funding and more than that in kind. What they don't have is audited financial statements, one because they're new, and two because they're not required to have them. But like I said, it is an absolutely a shovel-ready project, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Any other questions, Councillor Tracy?
No.
Okay. Councillor Bezanson?
No, I have, I'm happy.
Okay, I'll call the question then, all in favor? Carried. The next motion would be that council will apply for the project development funding for a feasibility study on 600 Frontage Road. Which should probably include a little bit more wording in there.
For the motion?
Yeah, apply for a feasibility study for cost-effective alternatives for heat and energy. Can I get a mover?
I'll second it.
Councillor Reichart, Councillor Bezanson. Any questions on this one? No?
No.
Okay, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Carried. Yeah. I have to go do this. All right, so that takes care of that. Now we're on to a motion to go, oh, actually, we have to bring Councillor Thompson back in.
Oh, yes. Councillor Thompson?
So the next item on the agenda is a motion to go in accordance with Section 91E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements. If council considers that the disclosure would reasonably be expected to harm the interest of the municipality, and that the meeting move to in camera. Can I get,
Sorry, I just have to add some before that. When I got my agenda and I read that, and this is all that it says, it says, if council considers that disclosure could be reasonably blah, 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 I have no idea if it does or not, because I haven't seen any agenda. So,
I believe that wording is taken right out of the community charter.
what I'm saying is I don't get to see an agenda, so I can't determine anything. So I don't know what the meeting's about.
Yeah, I think that's,
Didn't I send you a copy of the agenda?
Yeah, well, you sent a brief copy, there was
Yeah.
2 words that were different than what's stated on
Yeah.
here, so it still makes it difficult to know what the meeting's about. Like, I'm not sure why we can't have the agenda before the meeting,
I agree.
in-camera agenda before the meeting.
The content of the agenda is like, so if we're looking at someone's lease as opposed to just the, there's no reason why not. If that's what you want to do, I can double check on it though, I will.
I think
I'd be
I find
happy
it hard
to.
to come to a meeting, be prepared for a meeting if I don't know what the meeting's about.
Yeah, I think it's usually those things are done to protect whatever information is coming forward.
Yeah, but even regional in-camera staff 4 days before the meeting.
Yeah, that's for the sake of that. It hasn't been done here.
But is there a reason why? Like, does it say that we can't do it anywhere?
No, it's historic and that's just, yeah.
Okay.
But just for the record, we have received that, and it was here at 7 o'clock.
Yes, it was.
Or earlier in the day, so.
Yeah, it was.
The agenda is in chamber to be reviewed.
Yeah.
All right, so.
So I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Carried. So, and the next item is a motion that the open meeting be recessed at this time, so 8:37, in order to conduct the in-camera meeting.
So moved.
Seconder?
Second.
Mr. Tracy, all in favor? Carried. Thanks everyone for coming out. Robert, we'll see you tomorrow.